So our next experiment is going to be about solubility, and we're looking at some common household items, things you can find here in your kitchen, and how soluble they are. These aren't proper test tubes, they're vase versions, but as long as I'm not heating things in them, they'll be fine to take a bit of water. What I've got here, I've slightly warmed it up just to help things do their best at dissolving. Okay, in the first test tube, I have mixed spices. So let's put some water in here. Interestingly enough, they went up. Okay, so as I shake it, if this is dissolving, the way you can tell is it's not cloudy. So see how this is cloudy? That's not dissolving. You can actually see the pieces will just hang around in the air there, in the water, sorry. So that's a suspension, and slowly over time it will settle out. All those things that won't dissolve settle to the bottom and they will make a sediment. The heavier, larger particles fall down first and the lighter ones will stay up for a while, but the longer I leave this, the more particles that are going to settle out. So not soluble. My second one is some peppercorns. Now, they are a bit larger. I couldn't find any crushed pepper at home, but they'll start to get smaller if they do dissolve. So let's have a look. And nothing. They're not getting any smaller. They're just hanging around in there. Not soluble. Okay, the next thing I've got in here is gelatin. So gelatin powder. Let's see if this is soluble in water. Now, as I'm shaking it around, you can still see through this. It's a little bit murky in bits, but you can still see through. And I might not have enough water here for it all to dissolve, but you can actually see through this. Even with some of the little particles up there, they're actually breaking down. So gelatin is soluble. And we actually use gelatin in jelly. It's one of the setting agents in there. So soluble. Another household thing we have is corn flour. It's finely ground flour, but and this is actually made from corn. You do have to check. They're not all actually made from corn. What's with that? So it's really, really fine powdered ground corn, whereas most flour comes from wheat. Okay, so let's see if corn flour is soluble. And again, it's all cloudy. So remember what I said about cloudiness? Cloudiness means there is no solubility going on here. So nope, corn flour, not soluble. The last one I have here is bicarb of soda. This is the stuff you use to help your cakes rise. It's also what we use in those volcanoes. So if I put it in there and I give it a bit of a shake, I can already start to see the amount of solid in there becoming less. And if I just give it some good stirs, you can actually see that powder lifting up and disappearing. And there is less now at the bottom, only a tiny bit left. So this is soluble, another soluble substance. There's lots of different things around the home that can dissolve in water, and there's lots of things that can't. And so part of this is just showing you that things can dissolve in water and other things can't. Water is what we call the solvent here, and whether it's gelatin or bicarb soda or salt or sugar, those things will dissolve in water. We call them all solutes, okay? And those things that do the dissolving, we call them solvents. So in this case, we're looking at water as a solvent. My next video, I want to show you other solvents around and what we use them for.